Tonight on CTV News at 5.
Instagram is my weakness, and I'm trying to avoid it more and more.
Addicted to scrolling. Why a landmark social media ruling in the U.S. is just one step in a much larger saga.
Sacrifice that he made trying to save the building that I love so much and that I know so many people in the community love so much.
Special dedication. A Moncton theater dedicates a seat to a heroic firefighter who lost his life 100 years ago.
And another round of rain still to move through tonight into Friday morning.
Live from the Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News at 5.
Good evening and welcome to CTV News at 5. I'm Stephanie Seacos. Maria Panapellis is off tonight. Thanks for joining us. First at 5 tonight, addicted to scrolling. In a landmark decision, a California jury has found social media giants Meta and YouTube liable for creating platforms that are addictive and harmful to mental health. As CTV's Vanessa Wright reports, some experts say this is just one step in a much longer saga. Vanessa.
That's exactly right, Steph. And while the trial is getting worldwide attention, the big question is, will it be enough to spark real change here in Canada when it comes to cracking down on addictive platforms? One expert I spoke with says it's a good start.
In what's being called a first-of-its-kind case, a California jury found Meta and YouTube liable for creating addictive platforms. The 20-year-old woman behind the lawsuit said she became addicted to social media at 6 years old and said as a result she suffered anxiety, depression, and suicidal thoughts. On Wednesday, she won the case.
There are so many families who've been tragically hurt through the addiction of social media.
The woman in the case said she would spend nearly 16 hours a day on the apps, a cycle Maritimers say they are often caught in.
Instagram is my weakness, and I'm trying to avoid it more and more. I can spend an hour or two, easily just on Instagram.
As someone who's active on social media myself, just like worrying about how many views you get, it can even affect self-esteem and that sort of thing. Like I find myself checking my views a lot and that sort of thing. You just get really obsessed with it.
The jury agreed the company's engineered algorithms are what's keeping people addicted.
They use color, they use sound, they use the flow of, it's that long streaming as you doom scrolling, as they say. And that gets your eyeballs in, it gets you attracted, it hits your dopamine.
Crouch calls the case one of the most significant he's seen in years. But will it be enough for the Canadian government to make a move?
I think that governments have come to realize how bad this is because they're getting pushback from society. This is a cultural immune response, if you will. So I think the change has really started. It's going to take a few more years yet, but I think this was sort of that tipping point, if you will, that hopefully will lead to more regulatory change.
The woman has been awarded $3 million in damages. Many believe the case has set a precedent for social media lawsuits going forward.
But will it move the needle to cause these platforms to make more significant changes? I don't think so.
Now, Meta says it will be looking to appeal the case, saying in a statement it respectfully disagrees with the verdict. Stephanie.
Thanks, Vanessa. CTV's Vanessa Wright reporting live in our news center this evening. And that brings us to tonight's web poll. We're asking, are you concerned about your child's phone habits? Your options are yes, no, my child doesn't use a phone. Go to ctvnewsatlantic.ca to weigh in. Now it's time to check in on what's coming up tonight on CTV News at 6 with Bruce Frisco.
Thank you, Stephanie. The military getting a major infusion of cash here in our region. Prime Minister in Halifax today announcing $3 billion in spending for projects ranging from the purchase of the old refinery grounds in Dartmouth to money for base Gagetown in New Brunswick. We'll look at all the numbers and speak with the Minister of National Defence coming up tonight on CTV News at 6. The New Brunswick government has released its long-awaited seniors strategy. The plan calls for a number of nursing homes throughout the province to be rebuilt. And in the process, they'll be adding more than 600 new beds to long-term care. We'll have those details in reaction for you tonight. And also tonight, Cape Breton Regional Municipality began its budget discussions this morning. Council plans on stretching every dollar it possibly can, but some residents are worried about other issues that they worry may fall by the wayside. We'll have those details when you join us tonight for CTV News at 6. All right, right now we'll head over to Kaylin in the CTV Atlantic Weather Center for what has been a cold and damp kind of day, and I guess it's not quite finished yet.
Yeah, it certainly has been. I mean, whether it was snow coming down or rain, it was certainly chilly in the region. And it was a mixture of snow turning over to rain for the Maritimes today. As we take a look at temperatures now, moving into the first part of this evening, they're sitting mostly around the low to mid single digits. A little bit colder than that for some of the northernmost communities in New Brunswick near Charlotte right now. It's reporting a temperature of -3, the weather station that is. And while I don't have any snow observations from that part of New Brunswick yet, that automated weather station at Charlotte does have a snow on ground sensor, and that has ticked up a few centimeters throughout the day today. So that is a sign that where it is that a little bit colder for that part of the Maritimes, that the snow has been adding up a little bit more. Taking a look at the winds in the forecast, they're out of the south and southwest right now. They're being sustained between around 10 and 25 kilometers per hour. We are getting some gusts reported in the range of 30 to 50 kilometers per hour. The winds are expected to remain out of the south and southwest for this evening, but as we move through the overnight and Friday morning, becoming northwest and blustery and starting to bring some colder air back into the Maritimes. Now, speaking of things that are still coming into the Maritimes, we do have some more rain on the way in as we move through tonight into tomorrow. The next part of this weather system to move through is this round of rain that's running right out ahead of the cold front. There may still be some snow with it for northern areas of New Brunswick and up into the Cape Breton Highlands. And I'll have more on the forecast when I'm back later on. Stephanie.
Thanks, Kaylin. She's set records underwater, worked on movie projects, and even taught a thing or two to Tom Cruise. Then motherhood and the pandemic inspired a BC freediver to dive back into the job market. CTV's Adam Sawatsky reports.
For as long as Mandy Ray Kroc can recall, the water has inspired wonder.
I just absolutely loved being underwater.
Although she grew up nowhere near the ocean, the discovery of a school library book about scuba diving was a life changer.
I'm like, there you go. I'm going to be a dive instructor.
After graduating, Mandy moved to the West Coast to teach before being introduced to free diving.
And it clicked, and animals approach you more readily. The world opened up.
And thanks to a competitive spirit, strong work ethic, and innate talent, Mandy ended up setting more than 7 world records, free diving down 136 meters. That's deeper than the height of a 43-story building.
And you're like, wow, I'm at world record depth. And then you're like, okay, got to get up. And you snap back to reality, and you start making your way back up because you're only halfway there.
Mandy's accomplishments under the sea led her to work on multiple movie projects up on the screen, like playing a pivotal role in the Oscar-winning documentary The Cove and teaching stars like Tom Cruise for this scene in Mission Impossible.
He was an amazing student. He picks up stuff like that.
But after taking time to raise her daughter, Mandy sold her business and found herself looking for a new career during the pandemic.
It was frightening to try to get back into the job market.
Employers seemed reluctant to hire a 47-year-old without a diploma, until Mandy happened upon a posting for a job that required the sort of skills you can't teach, like stepping up and staying calm during dangerous situations.
They were able to see what I could bring to the table and not dock me for being old.
And after a few years as a 911 police dispatcher, Mandy says it's proving to be just as satisfying as her work under the water.
Freediving, it was opening somebody up to the possibilities of what they can achieve. In this, it was the idea that I could make a significant difference in someone's life by bettering the outcome of a situation.
And whether you're training to be the world's best or striving to make your community safer, Mandy Ray says the key is to dive deep.
If you have a thought and you want to try something, you go full into it and it'll happen.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Courtney.
Time for our first break this evening. Coming up next, tonight's keyword in our festive France River Cruise contest. We also have this story a little later.
I'm Josh Smith in Moncton. The Capitol Theater is dedicating a seat to a Moncton firefighter who gave up his life over 100 years ago. And the story behind it still resonates today. More coming up on CTV News at 5.
It's the best night of the year. Join Jose Bautista, Brett the Hitman Hart, and Jennifer Botterill at the Desjardins Sports Charity Dinner April 16th in Halifax. Funds raised support Canadian Progress Club Halifax. For tickets, visit Progress Club Halifax.
CTV, in partnership with CAA Atlantic and AMA Waterways, is giving you the chance to win a festive France river cruise. One lucky viewer will win a 7-night Flavors of Burgundy cruise for 2, where you'll explore iconic landmarks, medieval villages, storied vineyards, and France's culinary capital. Each weeknight from now until Friday, we'll give you a keyword. Once you have it, head to ctvatlantic.ca and follow the contest prompts or scan the QR code on your screen right now. You can enter once per keyword. The winner will be announced Monday, April 6th. Tonight's keyword is historic. Good luck, everybody. If you've been driving around the Maritimes lately, there's no doubt you've come across some potholes. They are popping up all across the country this time of year. And now Ottawa has turned to some new technology to help patch up its roadways. CTV's Tyler Fleming reports.
Come spring, there's a pesky problem that always pops up. It's actually more of a dip in the road, potholes, and no one likes them.
Nobody.
Some are avoidable.
Just keep your eyes on the road.
Others not so much.
I've probably been through a few potholes with my bad car because the muffler is now loose.
There are some notorious bad roads.
Like parts of Bank Street. After a winter which saw dozens of freeze-thaw cycles, ice and water heaves and loosens pavement. That's how the hole is made. And this is how some are fixed. Taking a bite out of bad roads, the Python 5000 slithering down streets, hunting potholes for a seriously rapid patch.
They're typically filling hundreds of potholes in a shift.
Instead of buying, the city says it's renting 2 units, steering clear of the high maintenance cost. While dozens of crews are out continuing to fill potholes the traditional way, the self-contained Python 5000 works best at tackling busy roads.
It allows us to really focus on specific areas, really our problem spots where we want to limit our staff that are out working on the roads. With that one-person operation, they do not have to get out of the vehicle, so it's much safer working through intersections on higher speed roadways where the risk is higher for staff working on the road.
Each year, the city fills around 200,000 potholes so far this winter, over 57,000. Residents can help the city find those potholes too by reporting them online.
Over 12 tons of asphalt's been dumped in 3 days already, so we need your help. Tell us where the potholes are. Let's get them filled up.
The Pythons and plenty of crews will be out all season picking off potholes one by one, helping to make for a smoother ride.
The city is always working hard, so I'm not one to blame. It's the situation in Ottawa, right?
Tyler Fleming, CTV News.
You can't beat a name like the Python 5000.
Coming to a bumpy road near you soon. Hopefully.
Hopefully. I mean, driving around, I've definitely, you're dodging the potholes in the road. It would be maybe nice to get something like that out here in the Maritimes.
Send it out here in the Maritimes. We'll give it a good stress test because we've got the conditions for it.
Yes, because we've had some messy kind of conditions that have certainly impacted those potholes, and we're still seeing those messy conditions.
Like today, which saw a mixture of snow and rain in the region. At this point, this is Lily Lake in St. John earlier today. It was just rain coming down. We'll check on what's more to come with this weather system when I'm back after the break.
Rare sea stars are being protected on the beaches of southern Tasmania. The live Bering sea star is only found there and is critically endangered. Researchers are determined to protect the unique animal, which includes tracking down and removing invasive crabs. They say they're being careful not to harm crab populations either. Really cool to see, and it just makes me think we're getting closer and closer to those beach days.
Yeah, they're so small, those sea stars.
So small.
Used to the ones that we have here, the big ones.
Yes.
Purple, sometimes orange. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're getting close to that time where maybe we can start looking for some starfish on the beaches.
Oh, maybe in a couple months. Maybe we can wait for those water temperatures
Give me
to come
some
up
hope.
a little bit. A little bit dreary today. Looking out here in the Bedford Basin as we had snow that turned over to some rain, drizzle, and fog. There is still a little bit of soggy and foggy weather to come up around parts of the Maritimes as we move through tonight and into tomorrow as the next part of this weather system moves through. Barometric pressure, of course, has fallen from yesterday into today at the approach of this low pressure system and the weather fronts along with it. The next weather front to move through will be this cold front, and that will happen tonight into tomorrow. Ahead of that front, there will be some rain. The rain may briefly change back to a period of snow before it completely clears, and then in behind it, it'll be a colder northwest wind developing for Friday that'll really bring temperatures down as we make our way into and through Friday night. Taking a look at things on radar right now, here's the first round of rain clearing through eastern areas of Nova Scotia. This may still be wet snow falling and accumulating up in the Cape Breton Highlands, and likewise, it is still possible that northern areas of New Brunswick, especially up around the Campbellton-Dalhousie area, continue to pick up some accumulation in some wet snow. As far as rainfall reports go, only a preliminary report so far, mostly for the province of Nova Scotia. Some of them in the range of around 10 to 15 millimeters, but like I said before, we have another round that's going to be making its way through tonight. Overall, there were some rainfall totals expected to range between 5 and 15 millimeters for southern areas of New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island and parts of Nova Scotia, getting up between 15 and 30 millimeters of rain. So let's take a look at our forecast timeline as we move through tonight. This is around midnight, and you can see it's rain falling across much of the Maritimes. Some wet snow there in the north of New Brunswick. But this next part of the weather system does clear through fairly quickly. So as we head into the early morning hours of Friday, it clears the province of New Brunswick. And first thing in the morning, there'll be some showers turning over to flurries to clear Prince Edward Island, and rain clearing Nova Scotia. Again, there might be a brief period of snow just on the back edge of that rain. By the time we get to Friday afternoon, should be a mix of sun and cloud around the region. There'll be a low chance of flurries around the north shore of Nova Scotia and Cape Breton. We'll be into a northwest wind at that time, and it'll be blustery. It'll have some gusts between 30 and 50 kilometers per hour, and that'll start bringing in colder air off the continent, basically out of northern areas of Quebec and down into our region. Taking a look at temperatures for tonight, then, they'll mostly be steady in the range of around the low to mid single digits, except for northern areas of New Brunswick, which are going to be getting onto the colder side of that front first. And that's why the northern half of New Brunswick sees temperatures by the start of the day for tomorrow down around or below the freezing mark. In fact, communities in the northernmost area of New Brunswick between -4 and -8. Now, temperatures in the forecast for tomorrow, they're going to be at their quote-unquote warmest first thing in the day. So the high temperatures will occur in the morning. And then when we get to that northwest wind, the temperatures across the Maritimes will fall from the morning hours into the afternoon and evening, and that does leave us with a cold start to the upcoming weekend. And in fact, on Saturday, temperatures will be well below average for this time of the year, with the daytime highs mostly a few to several degrees below zero. Let's take a look at our weather watcher for tonight. And tonight's weather watcher is coming in from Marin Timmins, and Marin has sent us a drawing of playing outside on a very nice day with mom and dad. Thank you, Marin, very much. And weather watchers can come in anytime to CTV Weather Watchers, P.O. Box 1653, Halifax, Nova Scotia, B3J2Z4, or email kaylin.mitchell@bellmedia.ca. Stephanie.
Thanks, Kaylin. There's a new strategy to help save the whale population off the west coast of Canada. The Department of Fisheries and Oceans is looking to more than double the distance marine traffic can operate near orcas. Currently, a vessel must keep at least 400 meters away, but under the new regulations, that distance will increase to 1,000 meters. The amendment is expected to be in place by May and would encompass all of the waters around Vancouver Island. These guidelines are in line with American regulations. Time for one final break this evening. Coming up next, a special dedication. How a Moncton theater is honoring a firefighter who died in the line of duty 100 years ago. That story is next.
Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Join us for a special Easter treat edition of Foodie Friday tomorrow at 8.
And get on Aaron and Peter's $10,000 payroll. You can do that at move100halifax.ca.
A special dedication took place today to honor a Moncton firefighter. He died while battling the historic fire at the Capitol Theatre 100 years ago. CTV's Josh Smith has this story.
Exactly 100 years to the day, people gathered inside the Capitol Theatre in downtown Moncton to remember the fire that destroyed it.
It's a little surreal that at this very moment, the Moncton Fire Department as well as the Moncton Salvage Corps were responding to a major fire. At this very moment, it broke out at 5:30 in the morning, and the entire building was lost, right down to the brick walls.
The fire also took out the neighboring Empress Theatre, killing Moncton Salvage Corp member Alexander Lindsay.
I'm so touched by the sacrifice that he made trying to save the building that I love so much. I think it was definitely a part of people's civic life. It's I think, so wonderful that the Capitol continues to exist today.
For this deputy chief, that history is a reminder of the risks of fighting a fire so many years ago.
Back in those days, they did a lot of this work by strength of character and Armstrong. They didn't have the same kind of equipment that we had. They didn't have the same apparatus.
A century later, that sacrifice is being honored with a permanent tribute inside the theater.
There's a little brass plaque that is placed on the armrest of our new seats, and we're really delighted that, Alexander will have his own seat. I hope people will ask, who's this Alexander Sandy Lindsay, and why is his name on my seat?
The Capitol staff believe Lindsay's presence still lives inside the theater today.
There's many people that do talk about feeling him here, and I feel him here, and I think it's really wonderful.
I mean, several stories that have been shared by other staff members or people, like I said, that study paranormal activity, and the lore of his presence still being felt here. And I rarely speak about Sandy that I do not get a little emotional.
For everyone here today, it's about making sure the story of a brave Monctonian continues to be told.
It's with great pride that we recognize the sacrifice that Alexander Lindsay made to try to protect this building and the surrounding buildings.
We just want to keep that memory alive, and for what that day 100 years ago meant in the history of the Capitol.
Josh Smith, CTV News, Moncton.
Such a great turnout and a really nice way to honor his memory, even 100 years later.
Yeah, very fitting tribute for sure.
Yes. Okay, well, you're tracking some weather, and you'll be back at 6 to tell us more about that.
Yeah, so we're still making our way through our latest low pressure system. The next part of it to move through is a cold front. A little bit more rain with that coming through tonight. But then temperatures, they get cold again for late March as we move into the weekend. So all of an update in that coming up later on CTV News at 6.
Okay, we'll see you then. Thank you so much for watching CTV News at 5 this evening. Your national news is coming up next.